sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
One of them wanted to be the security guy. He claimed he was a security guy.
Welcome to a RunRaegis version of Security Guy Radio. Special edition here on Monday. I will explain later what that means. Mr. Jarvis, how have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Now, you remember New Year's Eve we had some psychics in here. Remember that?
Right.
And then somebody was talking about something called Mercurio retrograde or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so I start my Route 66 trip, and I think this is going to be a very great event. I'm all hyped up. I'm driving. I hit Albuquerque on the first day, and my car breaks down.
What?
Yeah, and now they can't fix it for a week and a half, but I got to be in Chicago on Monday because there's no part for this, apparently. A million people in this town, they can't find a part for a Chevy Suburban,
Wow.
which everybody drives, by the way,
Right.
right? So that didn't go well. I had to rent a car, right? And it just got worse from there. So then people on Facebook saying, "Oh, well, Mercury's in retrograde," and I said, "I don't care if Aquarius is in Uranus. I don't, I can't have this. I got to get to Chicago." So I had to change my leg from there to Chicago. I went to Texas instead.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I get to Texas, and then my GPS and my phone die, and I'm supposed to go from Houston to Chicago that night, and straight 16 hours, easy drive, right?
Right.
Oh no, I wind up in the middle of the Oklahoma National Forest, 6 hours off course.
Really?
Because the GPS said, "Oh, this road is closed, take this one." It didn't say rerouting. It didn't say pick a route. It just sent me to the Oklahoma National Forest. Yeah. So the whole thing was just a friggin' nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah, now, of course, then I get to Chicago. Have you ever been in weather that's minus 20 degrees?
No. And
Okay.
I don't want to be.
No, you instantly freeze, okay? So wind chill factor, minus 20 degrees. And, of course, I leave all my drinks that I brought from Oklahoma in the car, and now there's solid balls of ice in my car. Everything's frozen.
Right.
My camera's not working because it's too cold.
Right.
But on the way back, it got a little better. Right? So on the way back, I'm on Route 66. I'm hitting all these crazy, Route 66 places, car museums, really fun stuff. And I see this casino, Eagle Casino, and a little voice in my head, I have a lot of those little voices, by the way, but don't take that to mean anything, says, "You got to stop." And I said, "Okay, well, I'm going to stop." And I don't usually stop at casinos. It's just not my thing, right? But I had to do it. I walk in, and here's a giant slot machine with a giant buffalo on it. And when I was in Indian Guides as a kid, I was Little Buffalo. That was my name.
Okay.
I got to play the slot machine. It's a penny slot. Penny slot. All right. I put in $1. Ching, 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 ching. I win $361.
What?
Which happens to be my birthday, by the way.
Really?
January 61. Now, that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I take my winnings. I head off down the road again. And now I say, I got to get off at this exit right here. And I wind up in the middle of the Navajo Nation. Very poor, by the way. I am going to follow up on this and do another show because I think we need to put some light on this. It's a very sad situation. And there's this guy sitting by the road in this abandoned building. He looks like he's been sitting there 50 years, literally. Like he hasn't moved.
Right.
And he looks like he's 100 years old. And I walk up to him and said, "Sir, I just like to talk to you. You have a very interesting face. What's your name?" "Oh, my name's Harold." Okay, now is that freaky?
Yeah, that is freaky.
That's freaky,
Yeah.
right?
That really is.
So I gave him, we need a cough button, apparently.
I know.
I gave him half of my casino earnings.
Oh, cool.
And he just lit up like a Christmas tree, thought that was the greatest thing, and he deserved it. He probably, according to the people that I talked to, didn't. He just sits there all day. He doesn't do anything. But this guy was 60 years old. He looked to be 100. I'm not exact. My picture's on Facebook with him. You can take a look. And he starts laughing at my hair. And I said, "What's so funny about my hair?" He has jet black hair with 3 gray hairs in it, okay? And he's 60 years old. And he says, "I'm 60 and you're 55 and you got white hair." And I said, "Well, that's radio for you. What can I tell you?"
When was his birthday? Did you ask?
Oh, I didn't bother. No, I thought that would be too much juju to put on the trip. But then I didn't make it back. I was supposed to go to Colorado, and I was supposed to stop off and see. It's so coincidental how these stories segue right into what we're going to talk about. I was supposed to stop in Colorado and see my friend Violet Alexandre. And she just happens to be on the phone right now with us on Skype. Isn't that a coincidence?
Yeah, it is.
That's so weird. Violet, welcome to the show.
Hi, Chuck. Thanks for having me.
So, Violet has a brand new app that's launching today. We wanted to get this out to people. I'm really interested in it because had I had this on my trip, someone would have known that at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was in the middle of the Oklahoma National Forest. And I literally, because my GPS was off, I literally had no idea where I was. And I stop at a gas station and I say, how far is Chicago? Because I thought I was kind of close, right? And this 20-year-old girl, I am not exaggerating, she says, Chicago? I've never heard of that. I don't even know where that is.
Wow.
Well, our education system needs a little improvement in some of those states, apparently. But had I had this RunRaegis app, runraegis.com, which is a runner's app, which I could have applied for my trip, people would have known I was past my due date. People would have known that I wasn't on the route I was supposed to be on, and people would have been notified automatically. So I thought this was very interesting, and this is why I told this funny story, because I could have used this had my phone been working, of course. So, Violet, tell us about this app, and I'm very excited about it. And we can see it on the screen, I think. We can see a shot of the phone, the demo, right? So tell us about it. How were you inspired by this, by the way?
Well, this came out of a personal experience, and I have to say it wasn't the best experience, but we turned it positive. So I have a toddler, and at the time he was one, and I had just moved to Colorado. I'm a Northeast girl from Philly. And we had just gotten to Colorado, and I was getting to know the running paths, and I really didn't know them that well yet. And there had been a huge snowstorm, and I went out a few days after thinking that all the snow and ice was gone. And I'm out running, enjoying myself, and my son's in the running stroller. And I come to an underpass, and I slip on some black ice. And all of a sudden, my son in the stroller is jetapulting towards a frozen creek that runs along the side of the path. And the truth of the matter is I held onto the strap, the stroller flipped, my son was fine. He never even woke up, which I honestly laugh about now. But I'm out on this path, and I'm in a panic because I'm all banged up, and I realize that I'm trying to call my husband to get help, and I get him on the phone, but I can't explain where I am because I'm out on some back path, and I'm all confused. And so I ended up just running home, and I was injured. And that basically ended up being the impetus to build an app that addressed that need for my run. So at the time, we built an app that was called Run Safe. And we launched that about a year ago, little over a year ago. And we're actually relaunching today with a new name, a new look, a new brand, and lots of new safety features. So I'm really excited about it.
Now, it's interesting you should say and discuss this emergency because I was in a lot of emergencies as a cop, but we were trained to do things about it. Now, what was going through your head when you slipped and fell? What was your first thought? Was your first thought to grab your phone? No, your first thought was to protect your child. Your second thought was to protect yourself. Yep. Your third thought was, okay, let me reorient myself to see where I am, what my injuries are, some of the situation. By the way, while you're doing that, time is ticking by, right? And you could be in more peril while you're evaluating your situation, which is the right thing to do, by the way. It's not the first thing to do is not to call your husband or the police. It's really to figure out what's going on now. And if that takes another minute or two, depending on the situation, that could be dangerous. Yeah. So it's interesting how you basically responded to basic primal, I don't know if primal training is the right word, but you did what's instinctively the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And with an application like this, you don't have to because now if you had timed that a certain way and you were past your date, people will start looking for you and finding the location. So I think that's really an interesting way for people to understand that you're not going to be a superhero, usually, when you're in some kind of life-threatening situation, unless you're trained to do it. Bottom line.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I realized that all I cared about was making sure my son was okay.
That's right.
But time was passing, and even when I got my husband on the phone, I became aware that time was passing quickly and that I couldn't get him there quick enough, so the best bet was to get home quick.
Yeah, well, that's a trade-off. It's interesting. There was a case I found out about in Chicago recently where a woman, during one of the floods, called 911. Her GPS thing wasn't exactly working. It took 40 minutes to find her, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, she died in the car, drowned, but her toddler lived because she had positioned her toddler in a certain way. Wow. And again, she was just trying to protect her toddler first while the river's rising and then trying to get to her phone that was probably wet and damaged and all that kind of thing. Had this been automatic, probably she would have lived. That's what we're thinking.
Oh,
So this is really, really important, this kind of application. And do you want to show us how it works? Or we got it up on the screen, right?
Yeah.
Can we see that, Jarvis? All right. Yeah.
So I'll walk you through
Oh.
like in that. So anytime you go out for an activity, this is geared towards runners, but you can use it. I'm switching the activity. If you watch the little persons changing, you can use it for walking. You can use it for biking. You can use it for rowing. I'm going to do a run.
Or security guy radio road trips. You could use it technically. It would have helped me a lot with all my fakakta emergencies I had.
So I'm starting a run, and now for the purpose of the show, Chuck was nice enough to be my safety contact. So he's about to get notified that I'm heading out. So I just decided to notify, and then I'm going to say that I'm going to be gone for whatever time period I anticipate to be gone for. Let's say a 20-minute run. And then I'm going to say start. And it counts down, and then my activity starts.
Starting activity.
Okay,
Now,
so
it's going to do all the stuff for me that all fitness apps do. So like anybody out there using Runkeeper or Map My Run, this is tracking my distance, my pace, my splits, all the stuff you would want as a runner.
And about 30 seconds ago, I got your text. I mean, the second you push that button, I got it. And we can probably see it on screen here, maybe.
Oh, cool.
There's a picture of you and your lovely toddler. And
Yep.
it's your profile. And
Yep.
it says, hey, I'm starting my run. And here's the date and time I'm starting. And there's an elapsed time on here on my glasses, but it tells you how long it's supposed to be. And then it has a little map, and it shows you, shows me where you are on the map, where you're starting to run from. That's really cool.
Yeah, and if I was moving right now, you would be seeing me real time. So you're live tracking me right now.
Oh, look, you know what else just popped up? Is your route just popped up. I think it shows me where you're going to go. Does that make sense? Is that what I'm looking at?
It should be showing you as I'm moving where I'm headed.
Yeah, very nice.
Yep. And then if you scroll down, now if I was in danger, the alert looks a little different. You get that same link that gives you my safety profile. But there's actually a search and rescue portal at the bottom. So if you keep scrolling through your contact information, as the contact, you have the ability to share that safety profile. So let's say, God forbid, something's really wrong. You could share that safety profile on social media. And then basically people can comment in the commenting portal, just like a tip line, essentially.
Right.
And it's all structured data that we have timestamped. So it's really good in the event that something bad has truly happened. I'm just going to see. So now let's say that I'm out on this run and I see something suspicious. What's really cool is this is a community of people that use this app, and I can report in a danger. So I go, and let's say I just saw something. So I say I saw a suspicious person. Well, I don't want the next runner that comes up to go near that suspicious person. I can take a photo and I can mark it suspicious person, and I can submit that easily.
Oh, that's cool.
Now my report is available, and now the next runner that comes up to that is going to have a notification. They'll actually see that on the map. So there would be a panic notified on the map that they could see. And I don't think I can show it. So that's just where I am moving, as you can see.
Right.
And there's a strobe light here. So if you're running in the dark, which I don't advocate for, but if you are, there is a strobe light here. You also have the ability to take pictures on your run. Now, let's just say I'm really in emergency. I can double hit panic, and you see it saying it's triggering a panic.
Right.
Now, Chuck's about to get notified that I'm in danger. Now, if I wanted to have this audible, I could have I could have had this loud. See?
Oh, boy.
We can skip that for now. But if I wanted it to be heard, I could.
I just got your notification. That was very fast. Within seconds, I got that text. So let me open it up here and see what I'm looking at. So this is you're in peril right now, right? That's what I'm looking at.
I'm in danger, yeah.
All right, so I open it up. I see contacts view, a public link. It has recorded activity on your phone and sent that to me. So it starts, when you push panic, it starts recording whatever is happening. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the purpose of that is so you're the contact that has to now make a decision to try to help me.
Right.
So now you can listen to that audio, and things happen. Maybe I accidentally hit a panic. you might hear me fumbling with my phone. But if you hear me screaming or something that doesn't sound good, that's valuable information.
Yeah. Well, I also like the previous, going back to what you did before, where you're recording things along your route. Let's say you're recording suspicious activity, you're putting little notes in there, and then that's it. That's the last we might hear from you. And you don't get to push the panic button. And now I'm automatically notified. How can I find that archive of your activity? As a contact, am I able to see what you took pictures of and what notes you wrote in there?
Well, all of that is associated with me as my profile.
Okay.
So at any time, that information can be accessed and made available. So for instance, to authorities or what have you. But real time, what you end up looking at is just that safety profile that you see that has my user generated information, like my height, my weight,
Right.
my picture. Also, the private profile, I can include medical information. So let's say I have a terrible allergy to a medication. I can put that information in there so that now, as my contact, you may decide if you think I'm really in danger, you have two ways to escalate this alert. You can decide to broadcast my safety profile to everybody on the network in a close radius of the emergency. So the idea is, here's an affinity community of runners. The chances of another runner being able to make it to me quickly to help me is probably far better than many other options.
Oh, that's a good point.
So you have that option. And then the other option, and this is really powerful, you could be sitting in a different state, which actually you are right now, and you can be connected to my 911. So if you escalate to my 911, you're connected to the relevant 911 for my location. And now you've got my safety profile in front of you, and you can communicate the information that you have to try to get me help fast.
This is very comprehensive. And this is a very easy screen. I got the text very quickly. It popped up with a lot of information about you. It's easy to understand. It's easy to tell me what my options are, to how I can help you. It's hard for me to see on the screen, but you guys can see that it's pretty interactive.
And the other thing is, if you notice, you didn't have to download. I mean, you're not, I don't know, but are you a runner, Chuck?
I used to be, but unfortunately, age just caught up with that part. But I walk. I like walking. I mean, this can be for walking as well, right? I mean,
Of course, but
hiking
but
on
I
a
guess
trail.
My,
Something like
my
that.
point was, as my safety contact, you didn't have to download. You don't have to download RunRaegis.
That's correct.
I've added you as my safety contact, and you're getting these alerts as text messages.
Text messages, and it goes right to a link, for a website. I guess it's a website, and it's very easy to use. And what I like about it is, on a lot of apps, they require the contact person to put in a bunch of information about them. And you know what? A lot of people are private nowadays. I don't really want to put in my social security number, my address, because I'm your contact to verify with the system. And they collect that for advertising, obviously, right?
Yep.
So your system doesn't do that. All you did for me today, while I was driving here, not using my phone while I was driving, I'm not admitting that, is I got a text from you that said you're adding me as a contact. And I said, okay. And that was it. I put nothing in the phone. And you have my phone number. That's it. Very,
Yep.
very easy. Very easy.
The thing I wanted to mention, so I was about to end this panic, and to end my panic, I have to put a pin in, because you don't want, I mean, let's think, God forbid, somebody has a gun to my throat and they're trying to force me to end this panic.
Sure.
So I have the option to enter a pin to cancel it, and I also have a duress pin. So essentially, let's say I need to put a pin in, but I've got somebody's gun to my throat. I can put in another pin that actually tells you to keep the panic live.
Oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
so-
why would you be canceling the panic? I guess you'd only cancel it after you're safe or the authorities arrive, or you're going to keep it running until you actually get help. Is that the idea?
Yeah, but there's lots of times that you accidentally trigger.
Well,
things.
that's true. Yeah.
So the idea to be able to cancel it if you accidentally tapped it is basically the point.
Now, talk about the running community. There's a lot of runners around us, and they're very specific, by the way. You get in their lane, you do something they don't like, and they own it. When you said it's a community, especially in a beautiful place like Colorado, where you have actually nice places to run, do you find that you would have a collection of people on a network like this? There's all these sub communities for runners and things like that, right?
So
we lost your app. We got your.
yeah, I put it down because I figured since we had demoed that I would get it off the screen.
Oh, do you want to put it? You want to put it back up because now
Want me to put it back up?
your
Okay.
head has disappeared.
That's
fine.
Now I can't find. Oh, there we go.
All right, welcome back to Security Guy Radio. We had a little technical glitch there. Too many buttons being pushed. but we have your screen back up. Now, we were talking about the runners community and how this is truly a community of people, and they participate with each other and they share information, and it's like any other group, but it's very specific. And you said something about how if there's a group of people using your app or they're in proximity, we can alert them. I thought that was a very interesting concept. Tell us about more how that would work.
Sure. So we have, when we first launched the app, we have about 20,000 plus, around like between 20 and 21,000 users of the app. And we're relaunching with a new name because we think that community can grow a lot larger. And the community of people, I mean, they can report in dangers, and they also can receive alerts about people that are in danger, as well as any contacts that are on the network. So essentially, in the event that an emergency happens, so let's say you just got my panic and you decide I'm truly in danger, you can escalate from that link. You can choose to broadcast to network. And when you broadcast me, you geoblast my safety profile and that in the public profile to everybody in about a 5-mile radius of that emergency event.
Oh, wow.
And so the idea is, and especially when it comes to an affinity community like runners, like when I was on that path, another runner would have been able to find me relatively easy. But if you asked my husband to get in a car and try to find where I was, that would have been, I couldn't even guide him there.
Well, because men can't follow directions.
Well, that aside.
That's why I got lost, of course, right? That's why. Exactly why. It's the best reason.
Yeah. But so you have this ability to broadcast to network. And so that goes to everybody in a close radius on RunRaegis. And also, we have a larger network of people that are connected to the safety features. So there's more people than just RunRaegis that get notifications of dangers and of needing to help someone.
Oh, so, this is on, I think that's on another app you have. That your other safety network ties into this. Okay.
Other apps that we integrate with
right.
their safety network too. So
wow.
yes. So the answer is everybody that's part of the safety network gets the notification if you decide to broadcast to network.
Very good. That's really very comprehensive. Very good. Now, easy to get. We're going to go to runraegis.com/welcome, correct? Talk about why that's significant.
Okay, so if you just go to runraegis.com, you can learn about the app. But because we really like Security Guy Radio and we really like Chuck, we are doing a promo for all the listeners where if you go to runraegis.com/welcome, you can sign up using a promo code, just Security Guy Radio as one word, and you'll get 3 months free of the premium version of the app. So the app is free to download. There's a free version of it, and the free version has all the fitness, and it has the basic panic. But in order to get the ability for your contacts to escalate to 911 and geoblast to network in particular, for those features, normally we charge $4.99 a month or $24.99 a year. And because of Security Guy Radio, we're going to give you guys 3 months completely free. We'll never ask you for credit card information. All you have to do is go sign up from that link and put in Security Guy Radio, and you can use it for free.
That's fabulous. Fabulous. Now, Mr. Jarvis, are you thinking of taking up running now that we have this fantastic offer?
I actually am thinking of taking up running, but I have a lot of runner friends that I'm going to let them know about the app.
Excellent. Yeah.
So this is great.
Wow, this is really, really interesting. Give us your website one more time and spell it for my nieces and nephews who aren't great with spelling. And by the way, tell us about the play on words there, the RunRaegis.
Oh, sure. So I don't know, most people don't know this, but Aegis is the name of Zeus's shield. So, the famous Greek god Zeus has a shield for protection. So the idea with RunRaegis is you're having a protected workout, right? Plus, we thought the sound of it's very empowered to be RunRaegis. So hopefully our users like it too. So to spell it, it's RunRaegis.com and then /welcome.
All right, excellent. Violet, I'm so sorry I missed you in Colorado. Well, maybe we can do that again.
Definitely.
And I'd like to see this in action in the field. That'd be kind of cool. kind of watch it being used as people run and that kind of thing.
Well, in Colorado, you can get a lot of good runs in, so you should. Or hiking, so you got to come out here.
Or walking slowly. In my
There you
case, so I
go.
don't fall and kill myself. Violet, thanks for coming on Security Guy Radio. We look forward to launching this today, Monday. This is the big day. So log into runraegis.com/welcome for your Security Guy Radio discount. And we'll see you next week on Security Guy Radio. Good night.